Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very last episode of Comedy Cafe. That's right, we've come to the end of the series, and what a series it's been, ladies and gentlemen. We've had a marvellous time. Sorry, I promised I wouldn't do this. We'll help together, Charlie. I've personally had a smashing time doing this show, ladies and gentlemen, I can't tell you. And for this last episode, we've decided to put together a best-of episode, although to me, every episode has been as good as a best-of episode. I went for a walk earlier on today to just have a think, collect my thoughts, reminisce about the series, and funnily enough, I ended up in a graveyard, very symbolic. And here's some of the things I thought you, the viewer, would like to see in this last episode. I can't believe it. 25 episodes and here I am. It's been a funny series, really. Well, that was the idea anyway. So many people, so many stories. God forbid anything should ever happen to you, Lee. But if you were murdered, what photograph would they use on the news? Is there one from school that was particularly bad that you think
probably looks something like this.
Oh, no, I don't mean once you've been murdered. I mean just the one that they'd drag up from your photo albums to illustrate who you were.
That was
I was doing
that. That was me
I
at
see,
6.
I'm sorry, yeah.
That was me at a photo shoot at 6.
Not very
Are you saying I was an ugly child?
You've had lots of experience working with large inflatable fun structures, of course.
Well, very true, even in my personal life too.
Yeah,
And,
of course, with what Chegwin plays pop, Keith plays pop.
I think Cheggers goes pop.
Cheggers goes pop.
Hey, or Cheggers drinks pop. Or what was somebody else said to me the other day? Said, oh no, is it Cheggers smokes pot?
I like that. That sounds like a good show.
Have you ever fancied a cartoon character, Dan?
No.
Never? No. Not even Jessica Rabbit?
Don't be sick.
You have been described as the next Davina McCall, but a man.
Yes.
Are you pleased with that?
Well, I'm very good friends with her, and I think she's very good. I'd like to get off with her and maybe stick a bit in her.
Right. Well, that's, how could she refuse?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you swear in your act?
I swear like a bleeding trooper.
So it's a rude act?
It's very blue.
Very blue. Yeah, it's different, isn't it?
Yeah,
Blue and rude.
yeah. I don't think of it as crude. I think of it as cheeky.
Yeah.
Now, if I walk on and I call a lady in the audience a slapper, right?
Aye.
It's cheeky. If I call her a slag, it's rude.
Right.
Do you think?
I'm a big fan of cheeky.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of slappers.
Yeah.
I've heard rumours of Advocar.
Oh, yeah.
You've got a history with Advocar?
I did a show in Edinburgh last year, and it was about drinking, and in it I drunk the whole pint of Advocar.
Every night?
Most nights, every night was the plan, but when I had to go see the doctor because I couldn't go for a poo,
Really?
I had to stop because in a pint of Advocar there's something like 8 egg yolks.
I was going to say.
So I was a bit egg bound.
Did anyone famous go to the school that you went to? Sting? You've got a bit of a look about Sting about you. Has anybody ever mentioned that?
Do you know what? And this is a true story. Where I'm from, it's a very Irish Geordie community. And I'm not just saying this, you know, because I don't want to say I look like Sting. Because, hey, Sting's a good-looking, hungry lad.
It is.
I would.
Well, if I was pushed.
If you're pushed on your face, probably.
Why were you fired from Radio 1, Ricky?
Remember when Simon Mayo broke the record for like DJing 36 hours?
Yeah.
And I was on there and I said, well, why is that good? My dad builds walls. And I just said, that's not work. I'd like to see him do what lesers do, you know, doing tricks to get their smack addiction off the ground. And
That seems fair enough.
well, you know what I mean? I said I'd like to see him sort of upside down in an Amsterdam torture garden with loads of blokes round him. And they went, oh, you can't say that, he's a Christian. I didn't say I saw him. I said I'd like to see him hanging upside down with like 15 blokes, some with matted beards, whacking like monkeys.
There's nothing illegal about thinking it.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
But apparently they thought it wasn't right for youth and
How did you feel when Joe Pasquale nicked a few of your jokes?
Well, it's a strange sort of feeling because the mainstream guys have a different mentality in that it's not nicking, and you should see it as a compliment, really.
I see.
I'd quite like to go and nick his stereo and say, well, it's a compliment. Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah.
Give us an example of a joke which perhaps you've been particularly pleased with that has gone elsewhere on the comedy circuit.
What have they had? My Auntie Marge has been ill for so long, we've changed her name to I Can't Believe She's Not Better. If you're being chased by a police dog, try not to go through a tunnel, then onto a little seesaw, then jump through a hoop of fire. My grandparents' names were Pearl and Dean, but of course we just knew them as Grandpapa, Papa.
Who's your favourite guest on the show so far?
On my show?
Yeah, 11 o'clock show.
Malcolm McLaren was quite good, but only because I was very high on drugs at the time. Shock revelation, no, because the very first show of this series, about 2 hours before we recorded, I got very, very ill. I was rushed to hospital, very dramatic, seen by a very nice nurse actually, and they gave me lots of morphine to make me feel better, and I felt so better I was actually tripping my face off. And when I was interviewing Malcolm McLaren, he was speaking very slowly and very thoughtfully, and I was just hallucinating. I saw things crawling out of his hair and stuff. So that was my most enjoyable guest.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think I was very high on drugs. But drugs
and what was
cool.
it? I mean, I'm concerned now. What did it turn out to be, your illness?
I was just a little bit rubbish and a little bit gay.
You've been a bit of a Nancy boy.
Yes,
Is that all it was?
Diagnosis came back, Ian, you are a Nancy boy.
Have you ever seen a ghost?
Have I ever seen a ghost?
Yeah.
I have once, yeah. It was a sort of short thing with horns and a beard.
Oh, yeah.
Like that. And I cried, ghost, ghost, and they'll say, no, you fool, that's a goat.
I know. I can see where the confusion arose.
Your favourite horror film, Dan?
That's not a very good question because I hate horror films.
I do apologise.
But
Right,
I would say my favourite horror film was Wet, Wild and Ready, because it's actually a porn film. But I saw it when I was 9 and it scared the hell out of me.
What's best?
It's a football. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was going to give you a choice.
Oh, right, okay.
Spaceships or dinosaurs?
Dinosaurs.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's what I think. TV's Ian Lee, I interviewed him, he reckoned...
Spaceships. Dinosaurs are rubbish, everyone knows that fact.
He's a knobhead.
I know, I can see
you
his
know about
point.
spaceships and dinosaurs.
Yeah.
You come to the right man.
Right.
Dinosaurs.
Have you ever read a Terry Pratchett book?
No, I haven't.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah.
I'll make a note of that.
Nor do I own a heavy metal T-shirt.
Oh, you don't? Not
No.
even a greying one
No.
in the loft?
No.
No? Have you ever read a Terry Pratchett book?
Never. I know he wears an hat.
Have you ever read a Terry Pratchett book?
No.
Excellent. That's a no for Robin Ince as well.
Or any Tolkien either.
Or any Tolkien.
No.
Very good.
I've never journeyed to Middle Earth or
No?
none of that, no.
Never done any of that?
No.
Well, I respect you more for that, Robin.
Much I think the fantasy genre does bring out all manner of very exciting young people who sometimes get a little bit drunk, go to the Rocky Horror Picture Show, wearing makeup. They're mad.
And speak Klingon, don't they? They love it.
I was heckled by a Klingon, actually.
Were you?
Glastonbury this year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I hope you told him to fuck off.
I did, actually, yeah.
Is there anything you can do, a lesson you can give me now, just to get me on my way?
Yeah, I could do. I could show you. You need to... do you want to actually try and get one yourself? You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's see what we can do. Let's do some muscle action.
Okay, so actually, if you stand up like this, Charlie...
I've got it.
Okay, now, what you have to do is catch your breath here.
Right.
And pull.
Right.
But pull, suck instead of blow. Okay, like this.
Right, my turn.
Okay, give it a go. No, nothing happening.
Nothing there, I'm afraid, sorry.
If you'd actually managed to part the cheeks and open the sphincter, you would now be fully charged,
Yeah.
and you could give it a, maybe, I don't know, the interlude from the world of sport. Ooh.
In the olden days, people used to think poems were brilliant. They thought poetry was smashing, really interesting. These days, of course, since John Yogi Bear invented the television, we realise that poems are a little bit rubbish. But we still had space for a few juicy morsels of comic verse on Comedy Cafe.
I went to the Duchess for tea. She said, do you fart when you pee? I said with some wit, no, I burp when I shit, and I felt it was one up for me.
That's very funny, that. The boy stood on the burning deck. His legs was all a quiver. He gave a cuff, one fell off, and floated down the river.
And kill him. There was a young man from Pitlockery making love to his girl in the rockery. She said, look, you've come all over me bum. This isn't a shag, it's a mockery.
There was a young man from Bude who fingered his girl while they queued. The man at the front sniffed the air and said, just like that, right out loud, bloody rude.
Oh, my God. I've never heard such language in my life. They'd cut that won't down the editing room floor.
I've got me bloody mother watching this.
I love to go walking in autumn time, collecting rose hips and berries for wine. See a squirrel with a chestnut, hear fallen leaves crunch underfoot. But if there's one thing in autumn that gets on my tits, it's why the birds do purple shits. Blackberries, blueberries from near and from far, they eat them, digest them and crap them on my car. and they're a bugger and a half to get off. You can't use a squirt of screen wash and a cloth. You have to use sandpaper or you're sure to fail, and even then you must scrape off the worst with your nail. And they're not only glutinous and purple, these shits. The worst is the fact you can still see the pips. I asked an ornithologist why this was so. He replied, some seeds won't germinate till they go through the digestive tract of a bird, don't you know? I replied as I punched him square in the jaw, well, they won't germinate on the roof of my car, you wanker.
That's it for part 1 of Comedy Cafe, ladies and gentlemen. Have a look at these adverts, and you might want to get a pen and paper handy. There might be a good couple of gay chat lines there. I'm off to sort out part 2 of the show. See you in a bit.
Call Chatback 09068 50 50 50. Chatback 09068 50 50 50.
Now, it's often been said, on not too infrequent an occasion, that I'm a bit of a ladies' man. Well, that may be true. I don't think of myself as a sex symbol. That'd be a bit weird. But I certainly don't complain if a lady occasionally throws an admiring glance my way.
Thanks very much for coming along.
You're a gorgeous hunk of spunk, aren't you? You've been kept from me.
How are you, Kathy? Are you all right?
Yeah, a bit brain dead. I've been on book tour in America. They take lobotomy pills over there.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I should imagine you're a very, very busy lady at the moment.
Oh, it's tiara time. You mean about the film and everything?
Well, yes, I mean...
Pretty suave, huh?
Yeah,
Not
well,
bad for an old Aussie scrubber.
Look at this. You're a clever girl.
I'm very excited about this week because we have Jermaine Greer.
Jermaine Greer. Now,
Jermaine
that's a scary
Greer.
lady, I don't mind telling you. I don't know if I'd get on with her that very well.
She would love you.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think so. You've got the same hairdo, I think, actually.
I think we might go to the same
Probably
dresser.
the same glasses as well, yeah.
Did you have any say in the casting at all?
Have couch, we'll cast.
Oh.
Yeah, you see, if you'd slept with me, I could have got you a part.
Could I have been Joanna Lumley in this film? If only I had the foresight.
I think you're a bit mammographically challenged, but otherwise, yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
And what do you like about this country?
I love it here. You're all so small and pretty. I want to just hug you to my fashionable flat chest and just like, you know, squeeze you so tight. And I just love it. And I love y'all. You've all got little gray teeth and funny ears. I just love it so much. So I might be patronizing and all, but I don't mean to be. I just love it.
No, that's all right. It's nice of you to say so. So anyway, let's get on with
You're
business.
blushing now, darling. That was great.
The beautiful Lucy Alexander. Thanks
so much.
very much for coming along to the Comedy
No
Cafe, Lucy.
problem.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Very well indeed.
Looking fab?
Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah.
Oh, nice of you to say so.
I'm just about to do another book, but I've run out of material. So actually, I've told my husband that I have to have an affair to get some more material. But he told me that he should have the affair because it will give me more angst to write about. But, you know, if you were interested, I think, you know... Are you good at pillow talk? That's what I really need to know, though. Because, you know, women just love punnylingus. That's
Yeah.
our favourite thing. So as long as you can do the puns,
Well, I've certainly
you're
got the
mine,
gags.
Charles.
Yeah?
It's you and me, babe.
Right, well, I'll make a note of it and see what I can come up with.
Oh.
A lot of people, first time round, did love It's a Knockout, did love Stuart Hall, and partly were expecting that again. It is quite a different series. It does sort of like go across the board with younger children, I think, at the moment. So yeah, it's very popular.
Using the same theme tune, I noticed. I mean, exactly. Do you remember it from the first time?
I do. I just remember Stuart Hall's laugh.
Yeah.
And
the theme tune
yeah,
brings back
and
memories.
the theme tune.
I was actually going through my first divorce at the time, so it brings back quite painful
Oh,
memories
blow,
for me. But
does
no,
it?
no, it doesn't
Oh,
matter.
yeah.
I still enjoy the show.
Well, would you want to talk about it?
No, we'll
sure?
talk about it afterwards.
Okay.
You used to do stand-up circuit. You don't do that anymore?
No, but because I did comedy characters, I've always found it really difficult to stand up as myself and do a routine, and I really admire people that can do it.
Oh, it's easier than you think.
Is it? Have you got any tips?
Well, just be yourself. Yeah, just be confident in... I am very confident in how I am.
I can tell.
Yeah.
It's the image. It just says, I don't care, this is me.
You got it.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that.
I know some people think you use your personality as a contraceptive, but I don't.
Oh.
I feel that we're just bonding beautifully.
Yeah. You'll notice I've got very clammy hands.
Very clammy. I'm always wondering where they've been, actually.
No, they've been nowhere. They just
Okay,
make
good.
me very nervous.
Lenny's really the reason why we sort of got going, because we
Oh,
started
really?
doing,
Yeah.
we did a party for
Bananarama and met Lenny there, and he sort of took us on board to do his Regency Rooms gig.
Yeah, a lot of things kicked off from doing his show.
Right.
So many people go down and see it, and
Yeah, well, it's
really
quite
good.
a phenomenon, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lenny Bates.
He's
And
similar
you
hair
do...
to you, I think, as well. A bit darker, but yeah.
I've
You could
often
be
admired
Lenny's
his...
dad.
Oh, do you think?
Lenny
His
James.
brother, perhaps?
His brother.
Younger
His
brother.
older, more distinguished brother.
Oh.
All right, I'll go along with that.
You let me know about the affair.
Yes, all right. Keep it on, Jack.
Okay, I'm waiting with just bated everything.
Well, I'll let you know. Thanks a lot. Capulet. Everybody loves impersonations, don't they? And usually the camper the better. I remember I used to do an uncanny Duncan Norvell that used to keep my dinner guests amused for literally hours. But here's a fun game you can play. If you're taking a new partner or lover to meet your mates for the very first time, why not pick a moment throughout the evening to announce to everybody gathered that they do a brilliant Frank Spencer impersonation. They, of course, will deny it, which only makes them seem modest, and everybody insists they do their Frank Spencer impersonation until they're forced to do the most diabolical impersonation you've ever heard, much to their embarrassment. This is called Frank Spencer-ing someone. If somebody tries to Frank Spencer you, immediately block the move by Margaret Thatchering them straight back. Anyway, here's a collection of some of the impersonations done by some of my guests throughout the series. Enjoy.
My one impression, it's all I can do. Are you ready?
All
right, I've got to transform myself.
All
you
right.
ready? All right.
Is it Frank Spencer?
George, Scooby.
Scooby-Doo. Scooby-bloomin'-doo. How about that?
Before I used to do a lot of like, I used to do a lot of question about
I heard you can do Marge Simpson, is that right?
That's been known to be I sometimes, yeah. But
That's fine. Is she a relation of yours?
well, you know.
You see, I looked at the names, I made the connection. Brilliant.
We can do other impressions, though, can't we?
Beavis or Butthead. Yeah,
Yes, thank you.
I can't do any.
It doesn't matter.
You can. Look at this.
I feel it inept.
No, he's
It's
doing an
not
impression
your
now.
forte, it's not what you're here to talk about.
No.
It's,
He's doing an impression now.
What's he doing?
Lenin. Ladies and gentlemen.
John Lennon from the Beatles?
No, no.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I understand.
I could do that impression, though.
Oh, you do an amazing John Peel impersonation, Robin. I know this for a fact. Would you care to?
I don't know.
Oh.
Do you think the time is right?
Yeah.
All right, then. Who do you want me to talk about?
Could you talk about Kermit the Frog as John Peel?
I suppose we probably could. I remember some time ago now, I think it was actually about 1973, that I first bumped into... He was quite a small green man. For a moment I thought it was a young David Rappaport. In fact, it wasn't at all. It was, his name was Kermit the Frog. He pressed a demo tape into my hand, and I thought it was quite impressive. It was some kind of nurse song, and eventually I got Marquis Smith from The Fall to remix it, but it was terrible, and we never actually played it. And of course, 6 years later, he was enormous, and I was stuck sitting next to Tony Blackburn and Paul Burnett.
Fantastic, mate. Very good indeed.
I do Frank Spencer as well.
Do you?
Yeah.
I see you're Frank Spencer.
Betty, the cat's shit in my fucking cap.
That's uncanny. Fantastic. That's better than Crawford himself. Oh, that's
Who's Crawford? Joan. I
What?
do her as well.
Do you?
Yeah.
Dunno.
It was you that fucking killed me, bitch.
Dame Edna?
Difficult. I can't do Australian accent.
Now, we all know how funny and hilarious outtakes are, so I thought it would be a good idea if we took a look back over the series and see if there was any outtakes from our show. I found this one. Fuck me. Welcome to Comedy Cafe. I'm Charlie Cheese. Just run from all the way over there. Here's what you can expect. Here we go. Unfortunately, that was the only one we could find, but I did manage to find a collection of not so much funny moments as awkward moments when things got a little bit uncomfortable and a little bit tense. So have a cringe at this selection.
So, I mean, do you ever long for those old days
No,
and
not
double
at all.
act stuff?
That was, I mean, it was a pleasure working with you, but it was pure hell, dragging you through those shows every night, trying to get a laugh from the audience that you half killed.
He's joking, obviously.
I'm
We had a great
not.
time.
It was very, very uncomfortable time, and it's quite hard to deal with it.
Right. Let's. Sorry, I'm just.
Can I go?
No.
Could you give us a blast of any little
No, I
soliloquy?
couldn't, I'm sorry.
Right, that seems quite definite. You're definitely not gonna...
I'll try it again. No.
Right, I've got the message there.
It wasn't always as funny as it you know, as it could have been because we did it on the day of transmission, but I think we had a very good hit rate. Oh, that's me taxi. Can I shoot off, or do you need me?
I'd rather you didn't shoot off right now.
Okay.
Not on TV. It's not your normal sort of character, is it? I've never heard of that one before.
Sorry, Charlie, can I stop you, mate? Would you like some chewing gum?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Is there a...
It's just the... I thought it was the drains. No. No, it's...
Yeah. Well, thanks very much.
I just assumed it was his sweaty upper lip.
Yeah. Brilliant, brilliant. Ladies and gentlemen...
Is that me done?
Yeah, brilliant. If you just... wait.
So, the Confessions of a Catholic Buddhist, I'm not really a Buddhist, and there's a small amount of confessions in it, but I am Catholic, you see. Okay. Catholic with a big C, meaning that, you know, I believe in wearing dresses and touching kids, and Catholic with a small c, meaning that I like to touch everybody's kids in the whole world.
Controversial. What you got on the plans for the year 2000?
What sort of question is that?
What have you got on the plans for the year 2000? Isn't that obvious? All right, let me put it a different way.
If you did it in English, just, you know.
All right, what have you got planned for the year 2000?
Oh, I get what you're saying now. I'm not sure.
No?
No. There'll be another series of the 11 o'clock show, hopefully in the new year, maybe one in the autumn. So look out for that, folks. More cop jokes and
Do you think the 11 o'clock show is a series that will run and, you know, and become part of our lives? Heritage.
Culture.
Yeah.
Part of our culture. No.
Well, thanks very much for coming in, Sean. I wish you all the best.
Is that it? It took me ages to get here.
What else would you like to talk about?
I don't know. Let's talk about what do you do in your spare time?
Thanks very much for coming along, Ian, and hopefully see you again.
Charlie, I pray to God we never ever cross paths again. I really mean that.
Brilliant. People often say to me, they say, Charlie, they say, which are your favourite bits from the series? Well, I'll be absolutely frank with you, ladies and gentlemen. I liked this bit very much.
Our job as comedians is to push the ball up the hill without bursting it.
And do you think that's more relevant than learning the trade in, say, butlins or puntings? I wasn't fond of this one, I got to admit. I wouldn't say my girlfriend was fat, right? But, and that's a big but not as big as my girlfriend's mother's. I was quite fond of this bit. But this, folks, has to be my all-time favourite bit of the series. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.
You're very deep and very wise.
Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen, the end of the show, the end of the series. Hope you've enjoyed our best-of episode. I won't see you next week, because there is no next week. So for the last time, this is Charlie Cheese saying goodbye.